Ratchet and Clank is a game that is near and dear to me, as you can probably see by the channel logo, name, and well, pretty much my whole personality. And when Rift Apart was announced, I told myself that I would get a PS5 when it became available and scalpers were no longer trying to scam all of us good doers out there. But then, Rivet got announced. And well, the internet did what the internet does best.
No. Wait.
And so yes, I needed to get a PS5 ASAP, for the right reasons I swear. And I finally have a PS5. Anyways, Platinum Trophy completionist videos. That's a popular thing these days. So I thought, now that I have a PS5, I can do the same, but for Ratchet and Clank fans. And, well, Rivet fans. So there are 47 total trophies to achieve, and I will show you guys how to acquire all of them. But since I'm a huge Ratchet nerd and this platinum is way too easy, believe me, I will complete this on the hardest difficulty. So here's the breakdown. There is 1 platinum trophy, 13 story trophies, 10 collectible trophies, 9 weapon related trophies, and then the rest are random challenges and side quest based trophies. Some require upgrading a weapon with raritanium. There are trophies related to collecting gold bolts, which also provide some nice cheats, which are tools that will be useful for later. Pieces of armor scattered around the world, lorbs, rhino schematics, and finally, finding all of the hidden cute Craig bears.
That's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
But first, we will complete the story-related trophies as they are the easiest. We have the New Game Plus in this game, so we can clean up the rest of the trophies after the fact. I will go through the story with you guys as we collect the trophies so you don't get bored. So let's get into it. So the game begins with us following Rivet as she tries to steal an infobot for the Resistance. However, as she is about to escape, she notices a warbot trying to attack a civilian that for all we know could be a psychopathic murderer on the loose. After saving the civilian, she takes off her helmet and Rule 34 artists show up. From intuition, we discover that she is Ratchet's counterpart from an alternate dimension as the cameras pan to our favorite duo. We witness Ratchet doubt his own abilities before performing a perfect showcase for the PS5 graphics and gameplay. And after going down the nostalgia space hole, we find out that Nefarious, the series' greatest antagonist, is back and is contracted thug for less goons. A callback from the original trilogy and the Into the Nexus games. Basically, crocodile / stoner type mercenaries.
Hey, bro, I hear you. I see you.
After defeating these enemies, we come face to face with Dr. Nefarious, and Ratchet decides to ruin the multiverse by blasting the Dimensionator. Basically, the Dimensionator is a device that allows you to travel between dimensions. I know, I can do better. Whatever. He has been a main staple in the previous games, especially the Future series, which are undoubtedly my favorite. Anyways, as the dimensions collide, we once more deal with the good Doctor's shenanigans.
These goons are useless. This is what I get for giving my assistant paid paternity.
Quickly.
But, and don't think I forgot what this video is really about, we can actually get our first trophy before this boss battle even begins, by jumping around on the rails like a teenager at a Harry Styles concert. Despite beating him, Dr. Nefarious managed to send our group of heroes into an alternate dimension where Nefarious' dimensional counterpart rules the universe. Here Ratchet gets separated from Clank and the game truly begins. Oh, and Clank is joined with Rivet too.
This right here is my favorite thing ever in the history of forever.
Oh, and we receive our first story-related trophy. We can also immediately get another trophy if we head onto the menu and switch our character's armor set. With Ratchet we look for Clank and we find other ways to obtain trophies. We meet Mrs. Zircon, a weapon vendor, and a flirtatious, sassy southerner.
Apologies, sugar.
We quickly learn that we need to head off planet to get Clank and decide to look for a spy named Phantom, who is basically Skid McMark's dimensional counterpart, also a character from the previous games, from the first Ratchet and Clank.
Whoa, like I never knew you were this kinky, Miss Gears.
Don't you ever shut up.
Okay, I'll zip it.
Anywho, we learn Phantom Dash, which is this special move that we'll be using throughout the whole game, which is really useful. Well, Phantom then gets captured and we find a way to, well, find the ship. But before heading down that route, we can acquire 6 different additional trophies. One for finding a Craig bear here, another for acquiring a spy bot which contains rhino schematics and Andrew Tate's prison tapes.
Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, Set.
We get another trophy for opening a pocket dimension, which is basically these cool little platforming sections where you can acquire pieces of armor at the end. And then within the same pocket dimension, you can acquire another trophy for bouncing on all the parade balloons.
Balloons. Those are my balloons.
And then finally, you can acquire a trophy for collecting a piece of armor at the end of that section, and another for collecting a golden bolt within this level. Although, I did this later in another level, to be fair. Oof. So moving on, we head to Nefarious' main base and confront yet another mini-boss, which was honestly very fun, and a tons of pew 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 pew. To gain access to the ship, we have to complete a mini shooter with Glitch, which is this little companion that you get really early on that is gifted by Phantom. We can later complete other similar tasks to acquire a specific trophy with Glitch. Once inside the base, and just before we switch over to Rivet, we get this amazing cutscene.
Clank. Huh? No, 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 no!
Welcome, oh master of us all. Password, please.
Huh? Why do I need a password? I'm the Emperor. How about I obliterate you instead? Ha 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 ha!
So we shift focus to Rivet and Clank as they argue over Clank's credibility on whether he is telling the truth to Rivet or not. While they do this, their ship crash lands on Sargasso. We traverse the swamp with both of them to find and rescue Rivet's friends, and also to ride on the Speedles. Then you are given two story choices, which each provide a trophy. One sees you completing a Clank level to free some of Rivet's friends, the Morts, from an interdimensional anomaly. It is a puzzle section that is honestly not too hard. The other sees you heading back to your lair to basically Clank's brain.
Hey yo, what the
And then fight a Seekerpede. A Seekerpede is basically this huge, well, centipede type machine. If you have been a good high school shooter like I have, by this point you will have been able to acquire the They Blow Up So Fast trophy, as one of your weapons probably maxed out at level 5 by now. Following the Seekerpede's defeat, which was honestly pretty easy, even on the highest difficulty, you earn yet another story related trophy. You can retrieve yet another trophy by revisiting Rivet's hideout after the Seekerpede thrashed it, and then turning on her TV. This trophy is appropriately called Lombax and Chill. Also, there is another Craig Bear on the couch besides the TV in case you missed it. I'd also like to take this moment to ask you all to subscribe if you haven't yet. This is something new that I'm trying and I really hope you guys like it. I would love to receive some feedback, so don't be afraid to diss me in the comments below. But anyways, if you're still here, enjoy the rest of the video. Bye-doo! For some story beat reason, Rivet now trusts Clank and they both travel to Xerxes to fix Clank's communicator. This station is where the game hosts the infamous RNC challenge arenas. Here you can earn prizes like armor pieces, gold bolts and normal bolts, which are the game's currency. There are many trophies related to this combat arena, like achieving the bronze, silver and gold cups, as well as performing weapon challenges for their trophies. But most of these will do in the New Game Plus, and at the end of this first run. Of the ones that I achieved by accident at this part of the playthrough, we have the No Need for Multi-Ball, which you can obtain after defeating 2 enemies with 1 ricochet blast from the, ricochet weapon. At Xerxes, we meet Mr. Zircon's interdimensional counterpart, who is a pacifist.
Namaste, and peace be with you, Rivet.
Instead of our well-known psychopathic murderer.
You are a disease, and Mr. Zircon is the cure.
We also meet the best character in the whole game. His name is Pierre Lefebvre.
Pirate extraordinaire.
And we'll fight him in a series of challenges in order to earn Clank's communicator from him. This grants you a trophy and a scene with both Ratchet and Rivet. Well, at least after Clank has some fun with Rivet, that is.
Ooh. Hey yo, what the
Anywho, after these characters talk to each other, we find out that they need to rebuild the Dimensionator that Dr. Nefarious destroyed early in the game. So you get the choice to either go to Savali with Ratchet or to Blizon Prime with Rivet to find the parts for the device. And of course I went for my boy. On Savali, we obtain 5 different trophies. Once we land on there, we meet up with Gary, a monk who helped Clank on a previous level, who tells us that we need to reach the archives of the planet to access the interdimensional map, a crucial piece for the Dimensionator. But before we can do that, he advises us to search for his assistant and to then help, dude monks from being killed by nefarious troops. Honestly, it's the game, okay?
Radical!
We meet up with Gary's assistant after the archives go into defense mode and start to physically run away. Kit, as we will call her later, gives us some hover boots, which will allow us to acquire this level's first trophy. You can obtain it by jumping mid-hover boot flight. If you head into the center of this massive scrolling sandbox, you will find one of Gary's friends, who will give you pieces of armor for another collectible called Lorbs. Obviously, there's another trophy in this. These are little Easter egg audio logs that inform us on Ratchet and Clank lore and some nods to other PlayStation characters.
And there were these creatures. One of them even looked like a Lombax, but he had smaller ears, a mask, and a cane, and I think he was pulling some kind of heist. Their bodies were made out of all these old relics, but they could break apart and still be alive. It was so wild.
By collecting 3 of them, as I did while following the main objective, you get a trophy. Next to the guy, you will find a little resort where some little robots seem to be relaxing. They are originally from Nefarious's planet, but decided to stay after they were warped there accidentally. You'll get a trophy for simply finding them. After saving the monks, we head to the archives with help from Gary, using the hover boots to swing over to the objective. After defeating all the enemies and retrieving the dimensional map, we learn that Kit is actually a nefarious robot that was programmed to eliminate others. Thankfully, she decides to team up and help us with our journey. By this point in the game, you will have acquired enough bolts to buy enough weapons to complete a roster, which will give you yet another trophy. If you haven't managed any of this yet, well, then you know nothing of economics, and you should definitely enroll in my non-scam NFT project class, which was supported by yours truly. We switch over to Rivet as she arrives on Blizon Prime, a great level where you can constantly shift from one dimension to another with a smash of a hammer. Together with Clank, Rivet goes on a search for phase quartz, which is an element that allows for interdimensional travel. To create this material, they first need to help the chief engineer find her robots. While the chief engineer is somewhat psychotic,
Do you hear that?
No.
Voices.
she managed to help us turn a huge drill on that mines for the element. Rivet and Clank then manage to obtain some phase quartz, however they are immediately destroyed by a laser after Rivet attempts to save Clank. But fear not, Rivet explains that the more it's Noah being known as the Fixer,
If it's broke, the fixer'll fix it.
that is able to fix everything, even my obsession with furries.
I can't do it.
You can! You can do it, you can!
Therefore, our heroes fly to Tauren 4 next. Well, after receiving another story trophy, that is. I must also mention that we get yet another nefarious infomercial, and these are the highlight of my week.
Bounty is now 27 squadrillion Nefarabucks. Just look at it all. So big, so real, so totally not made up.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end the video here. This is something that I've been trying, and I have had to repost this video because of some issues that I had. So be sure to give me all and any feedback in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already, as it tells me if you guys are enjoying this content. Also, a like would be much appreciated. I've been working on this for about 6 months now, and I intend to bring everyone part 2, but I'm not sure when that will happen because it just depends on how many people like this video. With uni work and learning to edit, it means that it has taken longer than anticipated, but hopefully it will be better going forwards. Regardless, I hope most of you enjoy it. I know some of the jokes may not be for everyone. I wish all of you the best, and hopefully we'll come out with a new video very soon. See ya!